into the party wagon and hold on to your pizza. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to one of my favorite types of episodes that we do. This is the preview issue for the preview episode, I should say, for issue number 4 of The Last Ronin. You are listening to your host, Justin, from Epic Tales from the Sewers. I am here with my co-host, Mr. Eric Will, and my other co-host, Mr. Scott Cromer. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Just as he hit mute. That's great. You love my timing? Well, we are here, of course, to be talking about the new issue of The Last Ronin. So it is going to be coming out. They've actually pushed it up from the 22nd of September, 2021 to September 8th. So we wanted to make sure to get this in right on time just to get everybody's juices flowing for this one. So are you guys ready? That's the question.
I've been ready.
Yeah, I know, right?
The torture.
Yeah, from back when issue 3 came out, you're like, oh, I need more. Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't this originally supposed to come out in August?
I think it was. And I mean, if you think about it right now, we would be looking at technically a year ago today is when, not like this actual day, but this month is when Last Ronin #1 was supposed to come out. And that got pushed all the way back to October. So
right.
It's a circumstance where it's like we would have had a full 12 months of Ronin. Possibly it would have been done and the trade paperback would have been available by now.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like they're doing a pre-order for the for all 5 issues, the hardcover for it. It's on Target.com right now, and I already pre-ordered 2 of them. It's like $30 for all 5 issues.
That's a good price for like a collection.
Yeah, it's all 5 issues, but it's like you got to wait a year. It's like June 2020 is when it comes out.
Oh, geez. Yeah. I mean, man, and as long as this has been in production, it's been in production since, well, not even production, but it's been like the concept came out in 1987 until now. So it's like we have pretty much like a 30-year span in which this book is taking to get out. So the only thing I could say is, I know there's been some detractors on it and all that, but it's like, I think it's worth it. I think it's like at every aspect, I've really enjoyed the book. And anything that I've wanted it to go in a certain direction, they went in a different direction to surprise me. And I'm like, all right, well played.
Yes. Not disappointed in any. I haven't been.
Yeah. And I'll get to a question later on about like if you guys think there should be a sequel or another series afterwards, but we'll have to see how that goes after issue 5, right? But let's look at what we're here for. I've got a little synopsis of issue 4. So it says, with a few key allies, the Ronin takes on the general risk, the greatest risk yet, to infiltrate Baxter Stockman's Tech Island. What happened many years ago that set this Ronin on his quest for vengeance? Find out on this action-packed book. So they call it the penultimate issue because that means one before the end. So I guarantee we're going to see Baxter Stockman. However, we saw Baxter Stockman in issue number 3. He released all of those kind of football-looking mousers that caused the huge explosion. And yeah. I'm pretty sure he saved Oroku Hiroto when he just went nuts. And it seemed like he was on the roof doing like his crow thing, where he's up there. I expected him to have an electric guitar, he's slipping off the girder and he's like, I will not die. I will not die. And it's like, yeah, you almost died. But then like the Silverhawk eagle came and got you or something. So,
yeah.
He's a nut, guys. Like he is just like
very unstable.
It's funny because he is apparently the most successful as opposed like in this universe, as opposed to like Karai and Shredder and all that. And I mean, he's got like an army of people behind him, obviously, and he's been successful, but he's clearly the most unhinged that we've seen out of all of them.
Yeah, definitely. Man's off his rocker.
Yeah. I was thinking about this, and this was kind of like where they're going to do a bait and switch where it's like Hiroto is like the big villain and all that, but it's really not him. It's really Baxter. And we had kind of talked about that in the issue 2 preview when they had kind of put it out there. And I mean, it seems like that's what they're doing now. They're trying to go after Stockman because Stockman is somehow supporting Oroku Hiroto and or Hiroto Oroku. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it looks like the last time they went toe to toe with Stockman, they lost terribly. So
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very bad.
I wonder what the connection between Stockman and Fugitoid is, because obviously he figured out a way to track Fugitoid, and I don't know. There's obviously more going on there with. I just hope I need to see more of what Stockman has going on, especially now, because really all we saw was the flashbacks. We haven't really seen him in present time in the story.
yeah, just the head and Ronan was asking April just what's going on. Is he still alive in there? And she says, I think so. He's just inert because the last time he was active, Baxter was able to hack firewalls and find out the location. So,
you think when he turns it on, is it gonna, like, as soon as they turn his head on, is it gonna like send out a signal? And like, I don't.
That's what they're hoping for, I guess, for this plan. So the plan is to activate him and either divert Stockman's attention to where the activation is, or to attack them and activate at the same time, or something like that. So it seems like with that arsenal of trucks that they have, including what looked like the Tumbler from Batman Begins and the Shell Razor, kind of, and I was like, dude, this is insane. So they're going to have all of those things, and there's going to be like some car battles. So you're going to get like some Fast and the Furious type of vibe going. Yeah, Twisted Metal's a better idea. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where they're going with it, because I can't pinpoint in my head what they're going to do exactly. But,
no, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I'm mind boggled.
I mean,
it's just. I mean, there's so much. I'm not gonna lie. Issue 3, there was a lot going on.
Yeah,
a lot. I mean, it was kind of like, man, I have to go back. I have to go back. And, reread stuff and stuff.
Yep.
Just because there's just. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of info to take in just from issue 3.
I read it at least 4 times. I'm just thinking, and normally for a comic, I don't read something that much. Like I will, like, if I'm going to go back, like I couldn't tell you how many times I read like Age of Apocalypse, like just for fun and pleasure and all that. Like I'd go back and read it every couple of years, or like DC's Kingdom Come or something. Like I'll go back and read that, like just for fun, like the classics, like you're saying. But like for an issue, this one and the recently released Batman 89, I read each of them like 3 times, because I'm like, all right, let me get everything in here,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, it just. I mean, well, Ben Bishop put a lot of Easter eggs in there too. I mean,
definitely.
Especially from the '90s movies. I mean,
I saw Alien. There was aliens in there. The '90s movie, like Casey word for word from the '90s movie was in there. Yeah. So instructors Casey Jones.
It's crazy, especially with. Did you see Keno? Keno was in there.
Keno was in there. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, he was dressed up in a Pizza Hut kind of type outfit. And
that was a good character too. I was surprised that they never really took off with him from the movies. I know the movies were their own sort of thing, but I always liked Keno, and they could have done that in the cartoon instead of going with that. What was his name? Like Chester or something? I don't know. The last season of the cartoon had like a kid who turned into like an alien. And I'm like, oh, this is not great. And the kid looked like, do you guys remember Reboot? Like it was a computer animated story, and it was like the kid had like he blue had hair. Like exactly, like the blue hair and all that, and like that's what the kid looked like. So, and I was like, huh.
I vaguely remember that.
And he turned into like a big orange alien that kind of looked like I don't know. To me, he looked like a Krogan from Mass Effect, but I was like, yeah. I don't know, but they could have used Keno instead and been like, oh yeah, here's like an everyman that kids can pretend to be. I'm working with the turtles, so I don't know. It's just interesting. It's not, it's I imagine everything that they were trying to do is create someone else for a new action figure or something, but it just didn't seem to really work out in their favor.
Yeah, everybody wants to create the next big thing,
Yeah, that's true.
They're hoping for a Turtles thing again. It's hard to do, man. It's hard to find something that catchy. I mean, the Turtles they caught on.
Lightning in a bottle.
They're coming back, man. This is the biggest selling comic of pretty much the last year and a half. And I mean, with all these opportunities, we're starting to see new merchandise come out. And I know Eric and I have talked about this, but did you get to see the Sideshow Collectables prototype that they have for a Last Ronin statue, Scott?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I don't even know if they're going to make this thing because it looks like they made one. They put it out there. It's sort of an homage to like that Aaron Bartling cover that's now going for $4,000 on eBay, which is like CGC graded.
No, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's zero information online from anyone if this thing's available, how much it's going to cost, whether the deposits, like what's the pre-sales and all that. All they did was they're like, oh yeah, this will be an exclusive for this show. The show already happened. So we're like, all right, Sideshow Con already happened. Where is, the pre-orders for this thing? Because I know people are going to want to get their hands on it. Nothing, nowhere. So I'm assuming it's in development limbo over some sort of, issue with it. So, and Eric, I know you had a little information about this after speaking with the artist that they kind of did an homage off of, right?
Bartling. I mean, as of right now, I know there was something going on, but to be honest with you, Bartling, he did say something about he can't really do anything just for the simple fact of whenever he made the cover that he kind of signed the rights away a little bit in a sense. So, I mean, that's just kind of part of the deal. I mean, it's unfortunate because, as everybody knows, I mean, issue 1 was, I mean, it's got to be in my top 2 at least.
Did you get one of those covers?
No, but I did get an issue 4 though.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome because like his stuff is awesome. And it was like the first time we saw that cover, it gave us the idea of what might be happening in this book. We're like, they all dead except for him. But who is it? And it's such an iconic picture. I hope that eventually we can get prints or something like that to hang up on the wall because I've seen people make them bootleg and they're charging like $145 and stuff. And I'm like, I ain't paying that. Like I'll go straight to the artist and get it.
Yeah. He's got his own website now.
They're still not doing any Ronin prints yet for some reason. I've seen nobody like even like Eric and I actually met through the Bish Kids Kids Club, right? Where he's got the art and all that. He's not even selling Ronin prints yet. He's selling T-shirts, which we are each currently wearing. He's selling a skateboard deck, and like stuff like that. Like we got our quarterly Bish box, and the Bish box has a picture of the Ronin on it actually, this is just art from the Ronin, but he's still not doing any sort of prints or anything along those lines. So I think there's some sort of hold on that until the story's over.
There actually is one. It's pretty much the front cover of the very, very first issue of cover A on Kevin Eastman's website.
Oh, he is doing a print for it finally. Fantastic. I will definitely be picking that up.
Yeah, I think it's like 30. I'm pretty sure that you're a member of his fan club. So
yes, I am a card carrying member of the fan club.
Yeah,
yes,
same here.
We're getting a 4th print of issue 1.
What's that?
We're getting a 4th printing of issue 1.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes, we are getting a 4th printing of issue 1, a 3rd printing of issue 2, which the 3rd printing for issue 2 is like the WonderCon, but me personally, I really like it because I like red, but it's got like white and it's red in the back.
I have the second printing of issue 3 next to me, which is pretty. It's a cool cover. It's really exposition, and you see the Fugitoid's head, and you see April, and you see the Ronin on it, and I'm like, this is a great cover, dude. Like I kind of like that better than the regular 3rd cover. So,
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, these I mean, the 3rd printing of the first issue number 1, where it's all that black and white and all that is a great cover. That's like a variant cover that it's like, I would have bought this. This is fantastic. So, they have not really sucked out on any of these covers. Like all the ones that I've seen, with very few exceptions, there's like one maybe art style or something like that I'm not into, but still it's like, would I own that? Yeah, absolutely. Like if I saw it on the shelf, I'd buy it. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
the fourth printing is just a recolorization of cover A of issue 1. So
it's like a blue. It's like a bluish.
Yeah, I like it, but it's the same art, that we've seen.
Yeah,
and that's where it might be like spending another additional $8.99 or $9.99 on the same book. Like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, maybe I don't need the fourth cover.
I'll buy it, but
It's
I
tough.
buy everything, so everything I can.
So with this, what do you guys think is going to happen in issue 4?
I heard a little rumor that I don't know if I want to spoil anything, but I heard something that might be true.
This is literally a podcast to spoil everything.
All right, well,
you feel free.
Well,
spill the beans, Scott. Spill the beans.
I heard Bebop and Rocksteady are taking out Donnie.
No way.
That's what I heard.
What?
They don't even exist in this universe, so that would be insane.
That's a rumor I heard. We're going to see Bebop and Rocksteady.
So do you think it would be something, since it's Baxter Stockman, that they would either be like the thugs that play Bebop and Rocksteady, that not mutated, or possibly robot Bebop and Robot?
We probably won't see them in their, the standard form that we're used to seeing. So, you've seen them as thugs. That's very possible.
I kind of love this idea. I mean, it's
also
terrible because I don't want that to happen, but it's got to happen.
This is pretty much a continuation of the Mirage era, right? Which, like you said, they didn't exist.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like he didn't completely confirm that it was or wasn't.
Right.
So like he's really nebulous about it, and he's like, it's kind of its own thing. So anything can happen. And the only thing he said is he's like, there's no Jenica. It's not like IDW. It's not going to be like that.
Why not Bebop and Rocksteady?
Hey, I mean, it's like that's not going to pay homage to the fans. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you guys been paying attention to Stan Yak's covers?
I want to say yes, but I can't think of what's on them right now.
But yeah, which
okay.
ones?
So his issue 4 one, obviously issue 3, where's the one where it has, the Ronin going through and there's a bunch of Mausers all over it, right? Because he has a black and white one and a red one. So issue 4, it has the TMNT van as well as the Channel 6 News van as well as the Technodrome in the back, right?
Okay, gotcha. That's he's the one that did the cover that was similar to Craven's Last Hunt, right?
Yeah. Okay. See, like my whole thing is with, like, I know some of these cover artists are they don't get to read it, they don't get anything, so they're just kind of going off. But with like Stan Yak's, I like a lot of his has kind of been telling. You know what I'm saying? Like
part of the story, actually.
Part of you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like part of the story for it. And I'm like, I'm thinking Technodrome, I'm thinking Krang. What it.
Yeah, so looking at this, because I'm looking at this one now. This is the cover for number 4, and it's got the Ronin, and he is just kind of on the ground. There's a cracked bit of mutagen with some stuff coming out. Rodney Roadkill, which was that sort of thing that was from the cartoon that would throw out the little electrical whip. All the Turtles' weapons are in front of him, and Casey Jones' mask is in front of him. There's the Turtle van. There's the Channel 6 News. There's the wall behind it. Right, like the wall. So they're walled in on the island. There's the Technodrome, and let's see if I can see anything else on here. Holy crap! So going to a little bit of what you're saying here. There's the skull of a warthog, right, with Bebop's glasses on it on the side rear view or on the side view mirror of this, and the Fugitoid's head is all the way on the bottom. I'm looking to see if there's a rhino anywhere. I'm not seeing any, but that's a really good pickup there, Eric. So yeah, I'm just seeing Bebop. I'm not seeing anything else, but yeah, just a whole bunch of cyborgs and the Fugitoid's head. And let's see, there is. So this is the weirdest part here because there's a shadow, and the shadow looks like the Shredder, but it looks like the Shredder from the movie, where he had like the cloak and all that.
Like the crazy headgear and
because they're not showing you
shoulder stuff.
Yeah, like the shoulder stuff is what it's showing. They're not showing you anything like oh, these are the two blades, because you would see that distinctly. Here it looks like he's got something pointed in each hand, like maybe it's a blaster gun or something like that. But man, Eric, that's a really good pickup. So yeah, Scott, you might be right. We might be seeing something with Bebop.
Hey, I'm all for
it. Cool. So and I mean, there's history too, where Donnie is traumatized from Rocksteady and Bebop actually murdering him, in the IDW series. So that's carried over into even we're on like issue 118 right now in the regular series.
Yeah.
So
118, 119, something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. What are you thinking then, Eric?
Man, I mean, there's a lot that that I have going through my head with all this stuff, because I mean there's so much to it. There's so much that hasn't been been completely told, especially with where's Raphael's body, stuff like that.
Oh, wait a minute. So you think that there's a possibility that Baxter Stockman could grab Raph's body and do some sort of zombie experiment with it? Similar to
I mean there's that. There's also taking his blood as well as for mutagen. I mean that's a good possibility. You never know, he might have
that would be a great story.
I mean there's a lot of things processing through my head with the whole like where are they at? I mean, they didn't necessarily confirm that Leo and Casey were completely dead either. So,
it's funny. I asked Ben in a chat, right? I asked him, so is Raph like 100% dead? And he said, yes, 100% dead and all that. So I just had to know. So,
yeah,
when you have access to go to the actual artist and all that, and to like ask, it's like I'm not going to ask. So I did. I didn't do that this time. I really did. I'm pretty positive that they are, just from the way that they're thematically telling it. But, with the whole thing with Raph being, they didn't unturn every stone to go and find his body or anything. And they didn't show that there was some sort of issue with that. They just showed this is what happened 10 years after that, when New York is embroiled in a battle between the Hamato clan and the Oroku clan. Oroku clan. So they just showed us that. They didn't give us anything else. So that could be a really satisfying callback. So, and I know you're a big Raph guy, so that'd be cool.
Well, Raph too.
What do you think of the imagery for the broken bow staff and the journal in the snow with Donnie and with Splinter?
I think that Donnie and Splinter is probably going to die.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I agree with you. Do we think it's going to be at the hands of Hiroto himself?
I already told you what I thought.
Okay, all right. Well, what about Splinter? What about Splinter? So
that would make more sense, though. Yeah, no, I that thematically that would be, at least Splinter dying from by Hiroto. That would be cool.
Yeah, he's got to go. I mean, we thought he was done last issue. And I can't believe that he made it after all that, all those wounds that he had on Thanksgiving there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys one thing. I am on the fence about this, but I think that no matter what happens, I think April is going to survive and kind of be the one to bear witness from beginning to end of this whole process.
Yeah, I think she's going to, she's going to make it all the way. I mean, she's made it through an explosion. I mean, with her leg and her arm and all that stuff, pretty much gone and replaced.
I think it's a better story if she does stay through it. Because if they kill people for no reason, then it's kind of junky. But if they kill people and there's some sort of gravitas behind it, where it's like, oh, they killed Raph, oh, they killed Leo, oh, they killed Casey. Now, are you just killing people off because it's like Game of Thrones, or are you killing people off so it's got some sort of message to it, where it's like, and I feel like if they start doing that with April, when we already know the other two are coming, that it's not gonna have that sort of weight to it. You're like, oh, well, why'd you do that?
Are we doing that just to do it at this point?
Exactly. And I think with their writing, with like Tom Waltz scripting this and the original idea from Eastman and Laird, I don't think that they're going to go that route.
No, I don't think so either.
Now, Baxter's probably going to get killed. So, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be like some sort of brutal upheaval or something like that, where the Ronin just like rips his head out of some sort of robot body or something. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen, feeds him to a Mauser or something.
Oh, man.
Dude, it's going to be rough. Like, it's going to be just brutal.
He's going to get in there. Coming.
Oh, yeah. Like, and no doubt he's the one that's been, financial backing for the Foot Clan or something like that. So he's probably the one that Oroku is beholden to because, first of all, he just saved his damn life. And second of all, he has been keeping his mother on life support for the last 10 years. So, his hands are definitely not clean here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, I would just love to see some sort of incarnation of Bebop and Rocksteady, specifically like as robots. That would be amazing.
Be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised they put Metalhead in there a little bit,
That would be cool,
too. With the technology.
All these cool throwbacks, too, and we've seen it, like you mentioned, with Ben Bishop, who's doing all these cool throwbacks. He's throwing stuff back there to all these properties. So, you're absolutely right. It could very well be something where it's like, hey, you like the cartoon? Because guess what? I think
they're throwing like a little bit of everything in there. I kind of feel like they've, everything from the comic books to the movies to the cartoon series. I mean, just everything. I think they're just kind of mashing it up, but they're making it their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's certainly gritty. It's grittier than anything that's come before it, I think. Maybe not that first original Mirage series that was pretty brutal. Maybe not as gritty as that, but I mean, they're pretty much killing these cybernetic people. So, and I think we can agree, and this will be the part that I wanted to get to. I think we can agree the breakout character here is Casey Marie Jones, who is just a really fun character to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Are we hoping that there's going to be a Casey Marie Jones series after this is all done? I am.
I am, but I'm going to be honest with you. Today, I received a message on. Somebody sent me a link on Messenger, and it was Games Radar, and it was talking about Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz actually doing a prequel and a sequel to the Ronin.
I saw that today too. About a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a mistake? I mean, sequel, awesome. Is a prequel a mistake?
Do we really need it if they tell it right?
Yeah.
I mean, we still have 2 more issues.
I mean, let's be honest. The 3 of us are going to read it.
It's hands down.
Am I going to buy I going to buy 64 covers? Probably not.
They're going to want to continue this cash cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to get either we're going to get one or the other.
I'm hoping that this translates into something that's bigger, like an animated film. Or an animated series or something like that. Like a limited mini series where it's like, here's 5 episodes. And I'd be like, you know what? Why don't you get someone like Gendy Tartakovsky to do it? Like he just did that show Savage. Wouldn't that be awesome? Right? With that art style, and my Ronin, when I do the voice, a little more Clint Eastwood kind of grittily, like that's how I hear him, where it's like, there's Michelangelo under there, but it's darker. Because he's been through some stuff. So like that's where I go with my voice.
Shit, dudes.
Exactly, and some things. What do you guys hear for the Ronin if they were to animate him?
It definitely
definitely Mikey with a lot more gravitas, more more grit.
I would not go Greg Sips from the last one, the 2012, where he's like, whoa, Booyakasha! I wouldn't go that route.
No.
No.
After talking to Townsend Coleman, I don't think he got the concept very well, so I would not go to him. So, I don't know. Maybe just they get someone to kind of go with that. And I just thought it was like he's gritty and he doesn't sound like he used to. And that's why April was kind of like, oh, okay, you've changed a lot. And
Yeah.
there should be something that shows that he changed a lot. And I really hope they go animated for this because just live action would be terrible.
Give me like a little movie, an hour. You know, it doesn't even have to be 5 episodes. Just give me like an hour and a half like movie.
Yeah,
kind of like they did with the Teenage Mutant Turtles Batman crossover. Just
yes, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, they could make it at least a 2-part to 3-part movie if they did it if they did it right. You know what I'm saying?
I already know Scott's answer to this, but Eric, have you seen the 2-part Batman: The Long Halloween animated yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I watched it like 6 times. So it's
so good.
Yeah, it really is. And it's, you know, they've got like such good things in there. Like Jensen Ackles is doing the voice of Batman. And like when he did it the first time, like he's done the voice of a young Batman. He's done the voice of Red Hood. Then he comes like full circle and now he's doing the voice of Batman. It's like, oh, this is pretty interesting because we kind of have that. I would love to see like some sort of portrayal just like this, where it's gritty and there's like this sort of build up to like a giant battle and then, you know, explosions everywhere. And it's like, you can do this animated and you can do this justice, you know, and
you can
put a filter on
it. Oh, yeah.
Even if they did it in the style of Into the Spider-Verse, like Sony did, that would be amazing. Like throw that Pantone sort of stuff on it. You've got these future colors, you know, everything looks like there's you know, those spray paint dots and stuff. Like, go ahead, do it. That would be amazing.
And you could easily switch animation styles, you know, doing the flashbacks.
Yes,
you know,
great point.
Imagine seeing a live action, not live, but a live animation Eastman style.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I've become so accustomed to his style that his style to me is like if you ever had like a comfort food that like you just like have and you're like, oh man, this takes me back. Like maybe it's like chicken pot pie or like something that's like grandma's lasagna. You know, it's like that's Kevin Eastman's art for me, where it's just like I love it so much. And you know, if I was to see this in a vacuum and not have like all of this like you know, history with this artwork, would I say it's like, wow, this is the best technically sound stuff ever? Probably not. But it's like, it's just like Jack Kirby art in the sense that it brings back all this nostalgia, and I know exactly what I'm looking at when I see Kevin Eastman's art.
It also stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like Mike Ruth, like I've really started to become like a real big fan of his art because it kind of reminds me of like some of Eastman's work. I mean, I kind of feel he goes back to the roots of it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Like, I love Kevin Eastman's style. I mean, it's originator of the Turtles. I mean, that's the style that we grew up on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a big Laird guy, to be honest with you. Like, I love Laird stuff from early on because of the cleaner lines and all that. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to you guys before on how I'm like a huge AC Farley guy, you know, and because that was like in 1991 when I was first buying comics with my own money. That's the era where I was going in and buying them. But like I said, it's like Eastman's style is so distinctive. I love the crap out of it. Just like the little dots that he throws in there, the way he details things, the way he draws like light on the weapons and such. It's just great. And I still think he does like my favorite Splinter, you know, like in Splinter, he just like, he looks so different, but he looks exactly like you see him in the old Nintendo game, you know. It's like, that is exactly how Kevin Eastman draws him. And it's like, maybe that's why I like it so much. I don't know, but it's pretty fun.
I need to play that game.
I can get through the entire damn sequence, right, without getting hit one time.
Are you talking about the electric field in the water?
Yeah, all there. I can get through there without getting hit one time. Now, I'm not great at video games and all that, but I can make that claim that I can get through that entire spot without getting hit one time. I can't do anything else in life, but I can do that.
I haven't attempted that in a couple decades, man. It's been a while.
I have a hard time with the Technodrome sequence where you have to get through an area and you have to like go down through all these things. And then finally, like there's this laser that comes across at you as you're trying to get to the Technodrome. I have such trouble with that. So, but yeah, I don't know. That is probably one of the hardest games that I've ever beaten. So
definitely, yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest games.
Thank goodness for Game Genie, man. And you guys
many
know,
hours
I think
playing that.
I did just see that there's a report that in next month that we're going to see Shredder's Revenge will be at GameCon. So we're going to get a preview of the next arcade version of I don't know if it's arcade, but it's arcade style sort of beat 'em up game, and that's gonna be huge. So
It looks a lot of fun.
I'm hoping they have additional characters. Would it be cool if they had a Ronin model where you can play as Mikey, but he's really the Ronin?
Well, that's the whole thing they're doing. With the thing is, they did do these DLCs and all this stuff. I mean, hands down, that would be a moneymaker for them. You know, having all these extra characters that you could make playable. You know, start off with the 4 original turtles and then go from the different. But I mean, the whole thing is it's kind of in an 8-bit style. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what they will do with it. But
yeah, it's like your Streets of Rage or Double Dragon style.
Oh God.
Yeah, just waves. The last Streets of Rage game was pretty popular. I guess they put a lot into it, and that did have DLC for 2 extra characters that were in I think like 2 or 3 of the other games. So maybe they can go that route with it.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's on the systems I have. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if not, it's like, all right, it looks like I've got to invest in a Nintendo Switch or something. Just
my son he's like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? And I'm like, dude, when it comes out, we're getting it, and me and you are playing it.
You'll know.
You'll know.
So here's the question, Eric. When you're playing with your son, do you let him even touch Raphael, or is it like you can't even?
He wants to be Raphael. Raphael is his favorite turtle.
Yeah.
So yes, I let him have Raphael. I'm like, go ahead, you can have Raphael. I'll pick Leo or Donnie because they got the reach.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, because like when we play like Turtles in Time, like we'll go because there's like a gaming place in my home where I'm at right now. It's called Game Cycle, and he has like arcade. He's like an arcade in his place, retro games, movies, all that stuff. And he's got the Turtles Arcade 2, TMNT 2 arcade, and then he's got the TMNT Turtles in Time reshelled, and we'll sit there and play those games for about an hour.
I love that.
Just sitting there, and I'm like, go ahead, you can have Ralph. That's fine, because you know Donatello or Leo is always the best ones in the first couple games, you know, because they got that reach, the bow stat. I mean, it's just. I'm like, go ahead.
When you start playing some of the games, right, and you figure out the systems where it's like, okay, if you press A and B at the same time, it does a swipe that kills everybody with 1 hit. Doesn't matter who you pick, you know. Or in the third game, the Manhattan game, where you figure out how to like shoot them over your head and it kills them with 1 hit. There you go. And then the only difference is like Mike does like a kangaroo kick, Raph does a drill across the screen, Donatello does a roll, and Leo does like a spinning thing. So it's like you just figure out your style for that. So, but I don't know. I know that there's a lot of stuff that's coming out turtle wise. I haven't seen much in terms of like merchandise that's coming out besides what we talked about with all these covers in the statue. But I've seen nothing in the ways of are they planning an action figure line? Are they planning to do you know, any sort of like I don't know, like Mega Bloks Lego sets like they had been doing, like any of that stuff. I think capitalizing on that, like I would want that, you know, just like anything to put up in my house to represent that it's like, hey, the Last Ronin existed and I'm going to pay homage to it. Like, hell yeah, because I loved it. I would love to see anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is like, you know, with the Last Ronin, in a sense, you know, we're grown-up kids. I guess you could say we're grown-up kids.
We're the prime demographic for this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the, you know, Legos is more towards like, you know, kids, you know, my son's age is 7, and you know, with the Ronin being so dark and gritty and all this other stuff, it's you know, it's kind of rough to be able to put it like on like the Mega Bloks and stuff like that, because it's like,
it's a fair point. It's a harder story. It's not really their demographic.
Exactly.
I agree with you because that makes a lot of sense. But I will tell you this: I have the rooftop battle between Leo and Shredder from like the first issue, where literally Leo decapitates the Shredder. So I'm like,
yeah,
is this really? You know, I'm like, I'm not asking for him to be like in a sewer bleeding and looking to
yeah.
Harikari, but I would like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Give me a
figured
Funko Pop. I mean,
yeah. I mean, NECA. I mean, we got a couple guys in the Bish Club, where they're making some Ronin ones, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like they need to copy them because, I mean, what is it? Brian Park, I think is
shout
one
out
of them.
to Brian C. Parks, one of our admins from the Epic Shells Facebook group. Yep.
Yeah,
Brian is an
he
incredibly
does a lot
gifted
of work.
artist.
Yeah.
He actually helped me. I had an April who had some facial paint, just needed some touch ups, and I sent him over the April, and he fixed her up perfectly. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Brian's a great guy. So really gifted artist, and he helps out with all of our. We have a monthly member of the month. That's the most radical member, and Brian actually does all the artwork for that. So pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So covers. We got to talk about this because there are planned for 50 different covers, and I know we've talked about a couple of them here. What covers are you guys most excited for?
Justin Roiland one we talked about he always has some really cool covers.
I think that's my favorite one that he's done thus far because it's that image that looks like Batman and Robin from I want to say like I don't know what issue it was, but it was Batman and Robin with like the spotlight, and I really remember that from the Blunt Man and Chronic cover, right, when Kevin Smith did the homage to it for View Askew, and I'm like, this looks so much more like that rather than like the Batman and Robin one. But it's the Ronin with the Fugitoid on the cover, and it looks really good. Fugitoid looks amazing, drawn by Justin Roiland. And I'm not a huge fan of the Roiland style, but I think this looks really sharp. So that's a good choice.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. On that, I'm not a big fan of Justin's work. Not too much of it, but the last two covers have been like the one with the Baxter Stockman, that when it was like just like black and white. I mean, it looked really, really, really good.
I just sent you guys a picture of mine. That's what that buzz was. So
yeah, that's what I was like. What is that? Yeah, the Miko. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. This is a sharp looking cover, and maybe it's because it's more minimalist than the other ones were. Yeah. Because the last one had so much stuff, like it had Mutagen Man on it, and I'm like, I don't know what that has to do with this and all that. So
yeah. See, that's another thing too. That is another thing that I was thinking about. It was Roland, Justin, with some of his covers, because he has all these covers, and obviously he's really close friends with Kevin Eastman, obviously, and it makes me think like, go ahead.
I would say because aren't his covers? Doesn't he pair with Eastman on those covers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's I don't know if Eastman's doing the inks or something for it too.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think, be like, well, obviously this guy knows what's going on in this story, and he's putting some things on there. I mean, he had Mutagen Man on one of them. I mean, it's.
I'll tell you, in the last three artists that I have talked to who have done covers for The Last Ronin have not had any sort of ideas of what's going on. They were given like the basic idea, they were given the outline of what the character is supposed to look like, but that's it. Like I had asked Freddie Williams a second about it, and he's like, nope, I have no idea. I'm like, are you gonna read it? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. It's like,
I want to read it.
Yeah, like he's excited to read it, but he's like, I had no idea. He's like, he won't tell us. So, obviously Ben Bishop knows because he's doing that, and he's doing the art for it and stuff like that. And he's an absolute jerk for teasing us all the time. He's like, hey, check it out. And he gives us like a tiny little page. He's like, check out panel 48. We're like, you jerk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's always awesome. And I will say this: he's doing a cover with for Split Decision Comics, and it's got just Splinter on it. His Splinter looks really cool. Like it's like the head is kind of really tapered down and all that, and it's got like this really streamlined sort of like Japanese art vibe to it. It's really cool cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked that cover up.
I think I did too. Yeah, because it came in a 2-pack with the Splinter and Donatello has kind of like this ancient Japanese armor with like this like the only thing I could think of is he looks like one of the bad guys from Big Trouble in Little China with like that hat on. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get that cover too. So
yeah, it's and I think, to be honest with you, I know Noah Salt. Everybody, if anybody's in the Ben Bishop Club, everybody knows who Noah Salt is too as well. Because I mean,
he's got some good stuff, dude.
Yeah, he does. He definitely has some really, really good work. Obviously he has some idea of what's going on because I mean he's close friends with Ben, so he should know what's going on.
They're doing a great job of keeping this stuff under wraps too, because I mean I know it can't be easy. So since this is such a huge high profile thing, so I'm just glad that this isn't like a Disney property or anything like that, where with all the stuff that's going on with that. I'm just so glad that this is IDW, who's an independent. They're not Image. They're not Valiant. They're not Marvel. They're not DC. This is as independent comics as you can get, with the exception maybe like Dark Horse or something. So it's like these guys have everything now. They've got My Little Pony, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Mask, Rom the Space Knight, Ninja Turtles, X-Files. Like that's their bread and butter. And then it's like they've got other stuff. So, but it's just like, I'm glad that it's here, because if it was at DC, this would be a mess. If it was at, and they would probably more likely be at DC than Marvel, in my opinion.
We'd only be on issue like 2 if it was DC.
Dude, it would be insane. There would be rewrites, there would be editorial mandates, there would be, oh, this is too bloody, this is this. You just can't do it in something like that. But I will tell you this, if it was at one of the big places, we would be looking at probably some sort of statue or something to come out at the same time with it. So, there might be more stuff like that, or maybe we'd be looking at like a McFarlane version of the Ronin coming out. So maybe, you'd have to give a little
get stuff, but it's quite possible we might not get anything until after it's completed, because who knows how long the final issue will be until we get that. Hopefully before the end of the year, but
that's the question too, because if they're pushing this back to September, I mean, we've got essentially 3.5 months until the end of the year. Are they going to do that, or are they going to push it off so then they can have that be the largest book of 2022 if that's the case? I'm thinking, based on what happened last year, we will probably not see this until January at minimum of 2022.
So. Yeah, I probably see it going to that. I mean, they are stretching all this stuff out and everything, but also,
I'm not even sure it's intentional, to be honest with you. So
I don't think it's necessarily intentional, but I think between, I know Ben takes a lot of pride in what he does. I mean, he really, really, really loves his job, and he wants to make it right. And, I think between the artwork, the storyline, I think there's a lot that goes on between Kevin and Tom about this whole, like how the story is supposed to go, making this and changing this. And, there's a lot into it. And, I like people like us, we don't know what goes on in the background.
Yeah, like the business industry.
Yeah,
and all that.
There's so much more to it, and people, like, a lot of people got to understand. Like, well, I gotta wait for this. I gotta be patient, because I'm gonna tell you, it is well worth it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a big reader. I'm not a very, very big reader, but it's like I told my wife today. It's like, once I start reading this comic, it was just like, okay, they got me hooked. They got me hooked. They were out there fishing for me. They're real. They reeled me in.
They found you.
They found me, man. They put the right bait out there for me, and they brought me back in. So
I can tell you this though, Eric. If this story was terrible, I wouldn't be reading it. I wouldn't be talking about it as much.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be buying as many issues as I've been doing.
I would just get the cover A. That'd be it.
I'd just get cover A, and that'd be it.
I think, Scott, we talked about this before, but it's like when Batman Dark Knight's like Metal came out, Metal was awesome. I loved metal. I thought metal was so good. And I was like so up for, I'm like, all right, death metal. This is going to be even crazier. And we talked about it and it's like, all right, cool. Wow, a dinosaur and the robot dinosaurs Batman. That's cool too.
Dude, they were just throwing shit on the wall by the end of that.
Exactly. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna get issue 6 because it's, I got issues 1 through
all the tie-ins, and freaking Captain Carrot is back. Like,
that was great. That was that was the defining moment of the entire run for me, was the James Tynion the 4th Captain Carrot episode and all that, where he's going off with Guy Gardner. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But that's my point. That's a tiny, shiny gem in a 6-issue miniseries of garbage. Yeah. And that's why I'm not doing a podcast about DC Dark Knight's death metal, because it wasn't good. It was spaghetti thrown against the wall to see if we would buy 1,000 covers and crap like that. And it didn't work out. And as much as they wanted that to be like a Ronin, that's why IDW is best suited for these things, because DC would have messed it up.
They also overkilled Batman Who Laughs. I mean, he was in everything for 3 years.
And I mean, it was a cool concept. It was a cool idea. And then you're looking at like, oh, it's not this character. He's gone on to do this. Now we have the King of Robins. And it's like,
way overplayed though. They just used him in everything. And it was just like, enough.
And that's basically the gist of what I'm saying, Eric. It's like, if this wasn't good, if this turned out to be something that was just like this sensationalized sort of garbage schlock that they were trying to just throw at people because they like Batman or like the characters,
buy
like
this,
Ronin,
you like these
we wouldn't
people.
even be looking at it.
Yeah,
but it is good. So that's the cool thing about it. And that's why we're so excited, and we're excited to bring people and listeners and all that into it. And I do hope that everyone's getting a chance. Everyone who's listening to this has gotten a chance to listen to the first 3 episodes that we have done on Epic Tales of the Sewers, because I actually go through and as I mentioned, the Ronin voice and all that, go through and do sort of like the characterizations all through the plots. So if you haven't gotten a chance to pick up the book, numerous places you can get it, but you can also listen to the story on the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. So, small plug there. So, yeah, but I mean, other than that, any final thoughts that either of you have for this on stuff we're going to see? I know for me that Bebop Rocksteady is kind of blowing my mind right now.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and kind of spill the beans a little bit there, but for about the whole Jolzar thing, I know there's going to be 15 different issues that he has for issue 5 for Jolzar.
Wow. I'm so excited to hear that for the first time ever.
And I know Jolzar, he's kind of like for the comic people, comic fans, especially the TMNT Ronin fans too. He's been a huge fan about it himself. He loves the story as well, but also in the same sense, like he's also giving back to the Ronin fans as well too, because he's planning on giving out. There's one that's going to be a 250 print limited, and he's going to be giving that one away.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah,
we're actually looking at doing something similar on this show for Last Ronin, so we'll hopefully nail the details out for that. But not even necessarily just with him, but like just on our own. I know I've got 2 different covers that I'm looking to give out just to some hopefully worthy listener. So we'll see how that pans out too. So hopefully before the issue of number 5 is released. So
yeah,
might have some time for that.
Yeah, like we're saying, before 2022. So, but with that, I mean, this has been a pretty beefy conversation in terms of that, and a lot is going on. I hope we see a lot more Casey Marie Jones. I hope we see what she can do, and I hope that she stacks up, and maybe we get to see her face off against Oroku Hiroto. So my prediction is that he is not going to last until issue 5, and Baxter's going to bite it. He's either going to bite it in issue 4 or issue 5, but I don't think Oroku Hiroto is the be all end all that he thinks he is.
You think he's a red herring?
He absolutely is a red herring. That's my thing, and I think it's going to end up being Big Boss Baxter, who's going to get killed in some sort of brutal fashion. So I say, bring it on.
Hey man, whatever comes, I'm for it.
Yeah. I had my hopes up high in a sense. I just don't want to get him shot down. I don't know. It's like, I feel like I'm gonna go to Vegas and go gamble. That's and it's just that's where I'm coming from right now, because it's like, okay, what's going to happen? It's like one of those double Dutch games that you play. Just like, okay, when do I want to get in? I don't know, man. It's definitely going to be interesting. Like I said, they got me hooked. I'm ready to see. I mean, we could go on for hours and think about all these different things that they got going on.
And that's the fun part, because we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes this comic so great.
Yes.
It's told so well, but we still have no idea where it's going.
Yeah. And,
Exactly.
and like I said, they kind of subvert where you're going with it. So that's it's one of the reasons I've enjoyed it so much, just because all the things that I'm expecting to happen, it's been different. And that's very hard to do after, 30, 40 years of a comic book going, where it's like, they're like, hey, we've always done it this way, but guess what? So, that's cool. But until next time, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me. We'll have you on, obviously, the next time we do our preview for issue number 5. And with that, I'm going to bring this one to a close. And I want to thank you both for being here. Mr. Eric Will, Mr. Scott Cromer, thanks for being part and co-hosts on the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast.
It's always a pleasure.
I appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure to be on here. I definitely have fun with you guys.
Hi, this is Adam, aka Casey Jones from Casey Jones Livewire, and you're listening to Epic Tales from the Sewers. Time for a knuckle sandwich, punk.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Justin, your host, with my co-host Eric. We are welcoming today Mr. Jolzar from Jolzar's Collectables. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I know you've been talking with Eric for a while, and we kind of just met, but I've been aware of you because you are like Mr. Variant cover for the Last Ronin. You got some good stuff, man.
I made the right decision. That's what happened. When we were taking on this project, as you see, I dominated everybody.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I knew that this was going to be something big. I felt it when I even slept on it the night that I was, talking to IDW about, my plans with the series. I was a little afraid because the bill was looking insane, to be able to be a part of this project. But I believed in it. I said, you know what? I'm going to do something big. I love Ninja Turtles. So I said, this is going to change everything. Like, this is a big part of history. I said, you know what? I'm going to go big on it. And I locked in, I think it was 2 issues or 3 for issue 1, right?
I think so. Cause I think I definitely bought the one of them from you. I knew that.
To be honest with you, I've had so many that I'm even losing track how many I had, because then there was a little pattern change. I just know that I upgraded. I did more on issue 2, but right when I launched it back in April of last year, it was a big hit that I immediately contacted IDW, and I set up a big plan to do everything and to go out with a bang. Also, I like to call it going out with a bang for issue 5, but
I'm super excited to see what comes. Just to see some of the stuff that you've had. My question for you is, did you get to pick all of these artists, or was it something where you got a pool to pick from?
No. So I messaged each and one of these artists directly.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So as we speak today, I've been working with all those artists directly through Facebook Messenger.
Man.
That's just so crazy to me that it's like there's still this separation between like the artist and the producer. But I would call you the producer of this, or the director, so to speak. But
it
man,
feels
that's so
that
crazy.
Way. I feel very important. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I really did do this because I talked to them. We talk about concepts. I really don't talk to IDW at all, other than saying, "Can you approve this? Is it approved? Oh, it's approved. Okay, cool. Bye." Literally, that's all. That's the only time I talk more to the artist than I do with them. So yeah, I talk to all of them directly, which is cool, and they all agreed to work with me from issue 1 to issue 5, which was big.
How much direction do you get on a project like this from the beginning? Did they give you an idea of what the Ronin was supposed to look like?
Yeah, so they did. They gave us like a starter kit, I'm gonna call it. It was a PDF file, and on the PDF file, it showed you all the weapons that Ronin had, how he looks, how the world is gonna look. It wasn't too much detail, but it was to at least get the variants going.
And I take it that's something that was not allowed to be leaked out at all.
I was never told do not leak this, but it wouldn't be a good idea to do that.
Yeah, I get that. At the time, especially.
We're gonna say they're gonna find out later that they have somebody inside leaking information out.
Yeah.
And
of course, it's going to be a pool of smaller people.
Yeah. If you think of it, so it wouldn't be good. Yeah. But other than that, that's how they basically got us started. They gave us that. They didn't tell us anything, who the turtle was, though, or anything like that. So a lot of people.
Did you have an idea of who you thought it was?
I did. I really thought it was Michelangelo. Like, who wouldn't think that?
Us too. I thought slight chance it could be Donnie, but all the odds were on Michelangelo for this.
Yeah, if you think of it, for someone writing this, you want to pick the one that you just want to completely change.
Yeah.
So I thought it was best, and I did think it was him. But you're right. I was thinking of Donatello out of nowhere. I would get sometimes even play with myself, like confuse myself and be like, nah, but him. But no, no, wait. But and I'm glad that it went the route it was supposed to go. I personally think that they gave it out too soon, though.
Oh, from the first issue.
I think they should have held it to at least issue 3, just to keep. Can you imagine how the world? I'm talking about the world.
I'd have been going
invested
crazy
in that.
I'd have been going absolutely nuts.
I would have been. That's torture. That's torture.
Yeah, but I think that's what really. I think that would have probably even landed a movie deal immediately.
Because we were just talking about that, like in terms of how they should do this. We were talking about if they were to do it, they should do something similar to like the DC animated films, because you're just never going to do this justice in live action. It's going to probably look like Super Mario Brothers, like that futuristic city.
Oh,
and it's
God.
like, what's
Please
that? Oh,
don't remind me of that.
It just wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know that you'd be able to do it, because it would be like with CGI and all that. I just don't see them doing the Ronin justice.
No, if they would actually legit do like the animated version, I mean, I liked what they like. Me and one of my friends were talking about the Spider-Man stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, yep.
Like how they did the multiverse with that, the Spideyverse. I like how they did it. It was kind of like somewhat like comic book style. I could see it kind of going in that kind of similar way with the Ronin in some type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I agree with you. What do you
think? Funny that is what I had in mind exactly. I said there has to be either time travel involved in this or something's going to happen with this, because I don't think, I don't think they're just going to leave Donatello, everyone dead. I don't believe that. I think all those characters are too big to just say, yep, they are really dead in this universe. They're probably going to go back in time. I feel somehow they're going to just travel back in time and prevent everything.
I'll be honest with you. Like, if that happens, I don't care how crappy it is or anything like that. I will jump up and down cheering. I'll be like, yeah.
Same here. Raphael would not be dead.
Yeah. You're just sad that he went out with one of those weapons from the action figure.
Oh God, man. Yeah, I know. That's so sad. And,
it is a little bit, but it's also like, in a sense, it's poetic and awesome. And that visual that we saw with Ben Bishop's artwork of the Psy just like falling to the bottom of the reservoir there, that's so iconic. I love it. Now that I have a print of that from my Bish box from Ben Bishop's Bish Kids Club, I'm gonna be hanging that up because I love it.
Yeah, I gotta find a frame for mine too. Even though I like it and hate it at the same time, it's like I have a love-hate relationship with Ben Bishop, just for the simple fact that he is a murderer that killed my turtle.
Yeah,
and
he killed mine too.
In the same sense, it's like, but mine was first to go.
All right, so speaking of that, Jolzar, who is your favorite turtle?
It's funny that I get that asked all the time, and sometimes it's such a hard question to answer. Same goes with Power Rangers when they always who's your favorite. It's always gets so difficult to me. But I think on the turtle part, I'm gonna have to go with Leo.
Nice, that's my favorite too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Leo. But
Eric is a Raph guy.
You see, when I say that though, then I start thinking about Ralph. I'm just like, dang, but I get
awesome,
confused, but they are.
We asked a friend before who his favorite was, and he told me Casey Jones. And I'm like, all right, fair. Yeah, I'm like, okay, considering him the fifth turtle, that's fine. So
was that Rob?
That's funny.
It may have been to be the. He's a big Raph guy too, but yeah.
He loves his Casey.
He does love Casey, so yeah. And that's the thing too. Like now we're starting to see covers with like Casey Marie Jones coming out too, which is like a whole different avenue. And some of these are just like amazing. I'm hoping that we see something with her afterwards where we get some sort of pickup where she's going to get her own series or some sort of thing like that. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like any sort of like secondary Ronin series that you might be looking for?
I do believe there's going to be another. I don't think it's going to wrap up at issue 5. There's just no way. I think maybe that's why they're delaying these issues so much. I really think that they're cooking something else up too, just so once it wraps, probably a month later, a week later, they'll just announce issue 2, or another series. I don't think they're just going to let it go like that. There's just no way. I think IDW was in trouble. Not too long ago, finance wise. So I really think this is going to help them get back to the top,
I agree.
So I think
all comics were in trouble last year, and just with like comics stopped in May. Obviously this, but it's like they stopped, and then they didn't pick up again for a couple months, and then it's June, and it's like, okay, we can go get comics again because it's quarantine, so they don't want you going out to get them. They're not going to produce them and all that. So we're looking forward to all this stuff. Some stuff was coming out digital, but it's like I could see companies like IDW having trouble before. And I know they diversify in that they do the board games for the IDW games and all that. That was huge last year too, because with everybody being home, that was another kind of resurgence where it's like, role-playing games, tabletop games and all that. People are doing that because they still want to get together and be social and all that, but they're doing it, via Zoom or, Skype or something along those lines. So,
yeah.
And I mean, IDW owns all the hot properties, like, with the exception of like Power Rangers and none of like the Marvel or DC, but it's like they have My Little Pony, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Rom the Space Knight, Mask. Remember Mask, like Matt Tracker and Matt, like all of those. And then it's like, you can go through the list and like there's like 6 or 7 things that you remember probably from childhood, and you're like, holy crap, they have that? Yeah, Back to the Future at a comic book. Yeah, and it was pretty good. I think they do Rick and Morty. So it's like they own like all of these properties, and it's like D&D I think was there too, but it's like they have really good stuff. So I'm glad that Turtles is kind of like pulling them up by their bootstraps and getting them back out there. I had heard that some of the other ones are ending, like My Little Pony was finally coming to an end, so that's I don't really read it, so I don't know how to comment much on it, but I hear it sells, so.
Yeah. No, yeah. So yeah, no, yeah. Let's see what happens with them or what their plans are. I am excited though. I'm really excited for the future for the Turtles. I don't think it's been this pumping for years.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Like
so,
maybe
yeah.
1991 when the movie came out or something.
If you think of it, it's been forever since I, got this interested in, Turtles, that I put Turtles over anything right now, So,
if anybody gets it, we get it.
Very much so.
So I believe there's going to be something cool later. Let's just see. Let's see. I have always said time is everything. I know they're up to something and they're going to surprise us all.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like I told Justin and Scott on earlier throughout the episode, is like I actually seen a thing on Games Radar where they were actually talking about possibly making a prequel as well as a sequel to the Ronin, to kind of fill in, because obviously there's this big 10-year gap in between stuff going on in the story, and I feel that they're going to be doing a lot of prequels and sequels to this as well, so I mean it's
like
definitely going to be interesting.
The cash cow, right?
Yeah, I mean they're gonna milk it, but I don't know if like, okay, so the Last Ronin, this is one of the last things that, well, I mean not necessarily the last things that Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman worked on, but this is like something true to Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. As everybody knows, Peter Laird is no longer doing any stuff.
Yeah, he was doing pottery. Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, but I'm just saying he's not doing anything that's turtle wise. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of took a back seat to all this. He's not doing Comic Cons or doing any signatures or anything like that. And this is kind of like one of the true things that he played a big part in. And I think this is what's making it so big, along with everybody that is working on this as well too. So
yeah, there's legitimacy behind it because of that, because it's Peter, which is kind of funny because this IDW series, right? And now we're on issue, I think 118 or 119. This is the best series that has ever been out. Like, and I mean, even to like go back to the Mirage stuff and all that, this series is now gone on longer than any of the previous series, back from when it started, back from like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure series ended at 72, and then we had like a mock version that came out on that on a Kickstarter and all that, just to kind of end that. But anytime there's been a Turtle series, it's never gone this long. So they've told the story that they want, and they've got Tom Waltz scripting all this stuff, and he is so in tune with this universe. Like his voice is like the voice of Splinter, and it's like it's been so good. I love his stuff. But you're right. Having Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman with Tom Waltz doing the actual like scripting for it, because he understands the voices of the guys and April and Casey and all that. It's just kismet. It's amazing. Even if there's stuff you don't like in it, it's still just really, really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got a well-oiled machine. I mean, they're gonna keep it going. They're gonna keep it, keep giving it the oil and the fuel that it needs. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, like Jolzar said, I mean, it's he had this feeling. He decided to roll the dice on this.
That's awesome.
On this series, and I mean, look at it. I mean, I know
best decision I've ever made, ever.
Exactly.
Ever.
You think about it too, and it's like, what are you up against? It's like, oh, I'll either do this, or maybe I'll sponsor like a variant cover for Dark Knight's Death Metal. Yeah, well, time has told us. It's like,
yeah, no, yeah. So I'm glad though. At the end of the day, I probably made the most. I did the most variants for Last Ronin, and I hope it's a wrap from there. They change maybe the title and they don't go to issue 6, and they really take it retitle it or something, because in 20 years I really want to go back and say, hey, I had the most variants.
Oh yeah,
I want to go back and look at that, because that's insane. I don't even believe it sometimes. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah,
do you remember how many that you have for issue 3 and 4?
Yeah, I think I had maybe 5, then 4, right? For 5 for issue 3.
You had 4 for issue. You had 5 for issue 3, and then you had 4 for issue 4. Because I remember you having a bundle of 4 you can get, and then that was the whole thing. It was like you sold out of, I think it was PJs, because it was 250, right? PJs is always 250 limited.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, your Alan Quay, the Kale, or it's Kale that sold out first. I don't know. I can't remember.
Kale's usually sells out the quickest. Out of everything I do, he's the one you want to immediately grab, because his goes quick. Everyone else, Last Ronin 4 for some reason kind of slowed down a little. As you notice, I didn't get any crazy sellouts other than the Cal. So yeah, but the reason with issue 3, I ended up getting the 5th variant is because the Delato one sold out quick. And that one was, for me to bring in Delato, you guys have no idea.
I don't even know how I would have a conversation with him.
It was
like,
hard.
Yeah.
I was fetching him. He was supposed to be issue 1. And look where he landed. I was fetching him and not leaving him alone, bugging him and just bugging him. But I literally said, hey, I'm going to buy the original art. I'm going to do this. And I have the original art, just so you guys know. Wow. I bought the original art. I said, man, do this. And then, he finally looked into it, and he was actually excited to do it. He loved the whole idea. He wasn't even aware of it.
Well, he's just doing so much stuff for DC right now. Yeah, and it's like, they have him on like a title a month as one, so he's just, I imagine it's like, I haven't seen him not have a title, on the shelf, every single Wednesday in 10 years. He's always got something out there. And even if it's a reprint, he's like a Jim Lee or an Alex Ross at this point.
Yeah. No, yeah, he is. And for him to finally accept it and do it, I knew I was going to break the internet with him on board. Yeah. So I sold out immediately. And that's where the 5th variant came out, because I knew people were going to want it. So I said, you know what? I know he's a big superstar. He's super worldwide. I said, I'm just going to do a second print, basically, which really wasn't a second print because they all got printed at the same time. But I added a trade version later. So it was not even planned. Let me tell you, it happened so quick that it didn't even make sense. I think it's even a lower print, right? Or the same print as the Virgin.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the same. I think it's the same print, because I was like, I think the Virgin was less print, because it was actually more than the trade. But obviously I got Virgin and the trade. I had to. I had one. I had to get the other. So
yeah, he was super excited about that too.
I had to do that for people who couldn't grab it, and I felt like, you know what? Let me just get this one out, just because I know people are gonna really want it. It's Delato, so I said, let me go ahead and do this. And yeah, that's how we got the 5th one all random. I'm telling you, the numbers are so off that I can't even remember sometimes. So it was probably 3 variants. Then, it was 3 variants. Then it was 4, then 5, now 4, and then 5 is going to be crazy.
Now, do you get the rights to do prints if you wanted to of the covers?
I've never went into full discussion with IDW. I was going to one time do a print, and I think they had approved it, but then COVID literally just happened.
Oh, yeah.
So they never got back to me. I think they just told me that if I do the print, to make sure I print the IDW logo on there.
That's cool. Because I was just thinking, even like Delato, if he's like at a con or something like that, he could have your cover there. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, I think artists or retailers, I don't know. From what I know, or I've heard or seen, not officially through the publishers, you're allowed to sell prints only at shows. You can't, so I can't do a print and upload it on Facebook and tell everyone to buy it. I could be completely wrong though, but that is what I heard and seen some other artists say. And yeah.
That's good. Cause we were wondering about that, you know, cause I think, the first print that's finally come out of this is the Kevin Eastman fan club has one, and they have it up in their members only store. And I haven't seen anything. And granted, the cons haven't really started up in my area. I'm in the Chicago area, and we're going to have a couple in October, and then the big one will be C2E2 in December. But I haven't seen anything at like all these East Coast and there's some in Michigan and all that. Nobody's got anything. So I was just kind of curious in how that worked.
Yeah, I think, don't quote me on it, but I thought I heard about an Aaron Bartling one print. I'm pretty sure I'm about 99.9% sure that I actually seen a Aaron Bartling first issue print.
I've seen a bootleg of it, and I tried to buy it for $149, but no, yeah, that's
yeah.
it. That's all I've seen. Like just something like that, like someone trying to rip you off, thinking that you're getting the comic. So,
yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
You got to be careful, you know. You got to read, like if you're on eBay or something like that, and you're thinking you're getting this great deal. It's like, oh wow, I can get this cover, and this was like before issue 2 came out, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh cool, because this is a great cover. Then no, it's a print. It's in 11 by 26 or something. It's like, oh okay, yeah, someone got creative with their printer and all that, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't even try to, because I know with the whole line breakers there was like a big issue between him and Aaron Bartling. You know, I'm not trying to get in. I don't know what all that details, but I'm surprised I'm surprised you didn't go after and try to get him too. Because I mean,
so let me tell you something. I actually did go after him.
Oh,
I did, but somebody I even have them. I'm glad he even responded. I messaged him and he said, "Hey, someone already locked me in." I said, okay. I couldn't bring him into issue. I think by the time I reached out to him, I had already finalized issue 3. So my only choice was 4 and 5. And when I brought him on board, because you got to see how the delay, although you guys saw delay in issues, we've already had art done a long time ago, half the time, So like issue 5, I already had some art completely done like 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
So what I'm trying to get to you is, by the only schedule I was able to fit him into was 4 and 5, and I think I'm gonna say it this way: Sad Lemon or Yellow Lemon, Yellow Snow Comics or something like that. They actually got him. I don't even know I'm supposed to be saying this, but for issue 4 or 5, but he told me, so it's not like, the artist told me directly. So, but
it's okay. I know for a fact that Yellow Lemon doesn't listen. So no,
just kidding. Yellow Lemon. Yeah, if it's Yellow Lemon or Yellow Snow or something. Yeah. He got him. So they beat me on that. And, congrats to them, because I would have loved to work with him. Maybe next time though, he knows that we can put out a lineup. So he knows that we're serious if that ever comes, to happen later. He is on my list though. And I got a couple numbers already, so I can just text immediately and boom, or even call.
Yeah, and after this, I imagine like the street cred for something like this too would be like, oh, that was your cover? No kidding. And they get, how did you get him? And you're like, I got my ways, and then you can kind of go and now you can be like, yeah, my next cover is by Jim Lee. What?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and say it, because you just said Jim Lee, and I feel like this person's on their level or close to their level or was on their level, but I got Rob Liefeld on board.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
I got
God.
Rob Liefeld on board. I know. Listen, this is mind-blowing to me. This is mind-blowing to me. And you guys are, whoever hears this or anything, they're going to want to hear this, let me tell you something. I did not think he was going to respond to me. I did not think. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to message him. Then I said, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to leave a comment. I said, hey, check your DM. And then I sent him a message on Instagram. And surprisingly, he responded. I'm like,
damn.
No way. I said, wait, now he has to believe me, though. he has to believe me. I said, oh, hey, Rob, you know, I'm a fan of your work. Of course, you know, who isn't a fan of Deadpool? I said, hey, would you do this for me? And he said he'd love to. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way.
Dude's got a bad rap. I met him 2 years ago. Yesterday actually was the anniversary. I saw it on Facebook. I met him 2 years ago at Wizard World. Nicest guy. Like to the point, I bring up this book and it's a Wolverine saga book. And the cool thing about this is he drew this awesome dynamic Wolverine who's like jumping with his claws like this, like, and he's jumping and it's a hairy Wolverine with no mask and all that. And you know, I spent like $40 to get like him to sign like X Factor or no X Force #1. And I said to him, I'm like, hey, I just want to show you this. I don't know if you've seen this in a while. He takes it from me. He's like, oh my God, I remember this. I'm like, yeah, that was like my favorite Wolverine picture, like forever. It's just so awesome. He goes, oh, dude, awesome. And he just like, thanks for showing me this, signs it for me and just hands it over. He says, thank you so much for coming down and, you know, just being nice and all that. I'm like, what a nice guy. And I know he gets in trouble and stuff like that for spouting off on like social media and all that, but I got to tell you, he loves his fans and he is all about his fans. And he was so nice to everybody that came to that table. I could not say nicer things about Rob Liefeld.
You know, I the first time I met him was in Seattle back in like, I even have a picture with him. I probably need to post that. You know, I'm going to post that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post 2 pictures, one with him and I'll share with who else right now. But yeah, I had a really great experience whenever I met him back in Seattle. Great experience. I had him sign you know, you guys are probably going to know which one I'm talking about, but I think it was funny. It was X-Force #1, but
of course,
the one where they're all wearing the white suit. It's a pretty rare cover too. They're all wearing a white suit. Wolverine's on it, Deadpool. I forgot who others.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's X-Force, right? If I'm correct, or Uncanny X-Force #1.
If I'm thinking of the right one, I'm thinking it's like the second series #1.
Yes. And
so.
That one's a rare one. I think it's like a 1 in 50, I think, but it's rare. It's worth a lot. And I took him that to sign. He signed it for me. I was excited. I said, yes. And Stan Lee was there. I actually took a picture with Stan Lee that same day.
Wow.
I took him to get that signed. Then I took it to Stan Lee to get it signed. And I was excited. And I'm like, wow, yeah, my experience with him was fun. And I never thought, I think 6 years later, I was ever going to work with him like directly. So that was big for me. It was really cool for him to respond to me, to talk to me, you know, it's a dream come true, basically. You know, I got to work with him. The funniest part is I have a picture with him that I'll make a post whenever I show that. And, you know, say how happy I am to work with him. The next one, I mean, I don't know if I should give this out already. Do you guys want to hear who the next one I'm talking about is?
I totally do. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, if you want to spill the beans, yeah. We're more than happy to. I mean, we're all about it. I mean, but it's totally up to you, brother. No pressure, no nothing. It's up to you. What? It's your thing.
You want to tell people your website first, just where they could go, so they'll have to listen to this part.
Yeah, so it's JolzarCollectables.com. That's where we're going to be launching all this on, JolzarCollectables.com. And I think we're going to start launching and revealing all this probably the end of September, early October. It just really depends. I've always liked to launch them right after issue 4 comes out, you know, so it feels a little better than saying, hey, you know, issue 4 is not even out. What's going on? You know? So around that time, but JolzarCollectables.com. This next artist, he's been my favorite artist forever. Again, I met him. I think I met him in Las Vegas for the first time ever. And his name is Jason Fabok. Is it Fabok? Jason Fabok.
I am so impressed because, I mean, he couldn't have done this last year when he was doing 3 Jokers because he did the entire story, the entire run of 3 Jokers all together. Damn, that's amazing.
Having him on board was insane for me. Like, again, I got him on a project with DC. So I'm so glad everything happened the way it did, which was Legends of the Dark Knight issue 1. This was back in April, I think. Let me tell you how this happened. But I messaged DC saying, hey, I want to work with Jason Fabok. You know, what are the chances of me getting that? Then they got back to me like 2 days later saying, yeah, he wants to work with you. He does have like, you know, an agreement. So I'm not going to go off the agreement that me and him had, but they said, here's his email. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's already expecting me. So I used that as an opportunity to get him on board too. When I had his email, we had talked, we emailed back and forward. Then I said, hey, how would you like to be in Last Ronin? And he, with the deadline of, 4 or 5 months, basically, I said, would you take it? And he said, yes. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. I have a picture with him. I actually even emailed it to him. I'm like, look, just so you see how, this is the same book, you signed for me. I still have it, in my collection. And
wow.
I'm so happy to have him on board. So these two big superstars, I'm blown away that they're a part of this. And I'm pretty sure everyone's going to freak out when they see, basically, no one will see this coming. Nobody will, well, now they are, but
I was just thinking, like, if anybody was a fan of, Ninja Turtles kind of in the 90s era, like we all were, like, growing up, we knew Image Comics because you had all those guys that had left, Marvel and went off to go do their own thing. And at one point, the Turtles went to Image. But the cool thing is now with hearing about this with Rob Liefeld, I just saw something the other day. It was a Flaming Carrot meets the Ninja Turtles issue that had cover art by Todd McFarlane. You had Jim Lee, who did an entire run of action figures for the Ninja Turtles and numerous covers and all that. Eric Larson had Savage Dragon with the Ninja Turtles. So, I mean, pretty much the who's who of Image now has touched the Turtles. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're part of that, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited because Rob Liefeld has never done a Ninja Turtle cover, and
Not
Jason Fabok haven't.
Yeah,
and Jason Fabok hasn't either. So if you really think of it, I really set a big record with this project, and I'm so excited that they're, basically heroes. Deadpool, and then you're talking about, I mean, in my opinion, the best Batman artist in the world. To have them on board is big for me. I
don't know who's hotter right now for Batman. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, maybe Greg Capullo, but I mean, maybe. But I mean, Fabok he did the entire friggin' Three Jokers by himself, soup to nuts, detail everywhere throughout this book. It is such an intense book. And I said last year, and I'm on record saying this, the two best books that came out in 2020 were Last Ronin #1 and the Three Jokers. So you could listen to the old podcast because I said that. So I'm so excited that you got that. That's fantastic.
That I know. Yeah, I'm excited just as you are. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Last Ronin, and I haven't even read the Three Jokes. Wait, is it the Three Jokes or the Three Jokers?
Three Jokers. Yep.
Okay, the three. I have not read it, but it's on my list. I just haven't had.
There's a collected edition that's amazing. It's got all 3 of the issues in it, and it comes with like I want to say like a lithograph or something like that of the variant covers, because there was a whole bunch of variant covers for this one that he did, and it's funny. My expert on this would be Scott, who is the other guy that hosts this with us. He is like the biggest Joker fan ever, so he could tell you about the 125, the 112, and the 1250s that he has and all that. So it's like he's and I got this one graded. And he could tell you all that stuff. But I could tell you that the story, I thought it was fantastic, and the artwork specifically lent itself so well to that book that I'm just like I'm tickled right now to see what he's going to do for Ronin.
It's I'm this close on buying the original art. It's mind blowing. I think once you see the art, I personally think he's done the best turtle I've seen. And I'm not just trying to say that because, he's already, my favorite artist, but I think he's really done the best turtle. It blew me away when I saw this. I couldn't believe it. I had to look at it like 100 times for me to make up my decision because, details. He's so good with details, and he actually did this whole concept on his own. I said, let's do this. What do you want me to do? I said, do anything. Having you on board is just what matters. I'll take anything from you. And when he delivered, I said, whoa, he blew me away. He blew me away.
That's so exciting to hear. Obviously Eric is dumbfounded. He's because
I'm just like, I mean, I will be honest with you, man. I mean, like I said, me and Joel's are talk, and I'm not spilling any beans or anything, but I mean, he's got some names, man. I mean, Del Auto. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I mean he comes up like once a week on my Batman show. So it's like I mean, just once a week. It's like, hey, do you guys remember when he did that thing with Azzarello? Yeah, it's like.
I mean,
which time?
It's crazy. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of these covers, especially these guys that never did any turtle work. So it's definitely going to be interesting, and it's like you said, I mean, some first time artists and that are going to be doing this it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to see their take.
I think except one of them, I think someone else that I have on board, I don't think he's ever done a Turtles cover. I need to triple check on that, but I think I did some research. I didn't see one thing. And again, he delivered a turtle that just looks amazing. And I'm just blown away with everyone we brought on board, because not only are you going to get another variant, we're going to say it like that, but you're going to get something you've never seen ever. Yeah. And that to me was going to be the most important part, not to just give you, hey, Jolzar's got another variant. No. We're not, it's something bigger than that. We're just going to say that, something you've never seen. And I really wanted to deliver that, especially for such, I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest series, for Turtles that has happened in such a long, and over a decade. I just want to say that maybe,
I 100% agree. I mean, it's like I told Justin, I really never read a whole lot of comics or anything like that, but this Ronin, for some reason, I had to, and ever since then, now I'm hooked. Now I got to go back and start reading some other stuff. I mean, it's so well written. The art is beautiful in it. I mean, they got so many people working on that thing, but it's just such a well-oiled machine, and it's got me hooked. I mean, I'll read it 3 or 4 times in the same day when I get it, just because
I rarely reread a comic too, like that. Like, so I'm with you about 3-4 times. Yeah. I was curious about something. Did you ever give thought to going back to some of the original Mirage artists, or any of like the Ninja Turtles adventure artists, or any of those guys, to try to get a cover out of them? Or did you want to keep everything current with people that you're a fan of?
In this business, I feel like you need to stay a little up to date. As cool as that would be, I feel like I would want to deliver something a little different. I mean, then again, as of today, my views in this business is so different than it was last year. I used to just want to deliver what I liked, which I think was wrong, because I had to think about everybody. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about myself. And then I was just like, you know what? I need to really, step it up, change it a little. So this year you saw me work with so many artists, as in the beginning of my business times, I was only working with Diego Galindo. Is it Diego Galindo? That's all I was working with. So, I might just go ahead and do that now that you mentioned it. If that's something people want to see, I'm probably even going to start a little post to see who do you want to see on my next Ninja Turtle cover?
You know what? We could always put that up for you in the Epic Shells Facebook group, because you've got like all good. Or actually, Eric, aren't you a member of the Last Ronin group too? There's like 15,000 people in that one, so you could always do the mining for you and see.
Yeah, I might do that. I might do that one day. I've been wanting to do something like that and have a vote, and out of the 5 artists or something like that, I'll pick one person to work with me directly with the artist, so they can get a feel.
Oh, wow.
So we can work on concepts together. I've been wanting to do something like that. I've actually been thinking about it, but I just haven't put up a little game plan with it. Eric has been doing so well helping me manage the group. I'm such a busy person. So sometimes, believe it or not, I zoom out and I get busy with my other businesses. I got so many things right now. I got into publishing, so I'm writing, I'm creating, I'm thinking, I'm running other businesses on top of all that life, so sometimes I zoom out a little. So I might talk to Eric to see what we can do, so we could get something like that going and do like maybe a voting / contest or something like that, and then select somebody out of the group to work, us three with the concept and work with the artist, so they get a feel with it. Because when I do this, I feel really good about myself, and it's those things that I would love to give a fan one day an opportunity to work with an artist they like and with me, and they create something. It's a different feeling.
Such a great idea.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean even me just being a part of it would be just that's awesome. Like, I would love to help somebody else. We're all Turtle fans, and Justin knows, he's kind of somewhat seen my little turtle show of a room.
It's pretty awesome.
That's the thing, man. Like, my wife supports my habit on craziness. But to get another turtle fan, and there's so many turtle fans out there. I mean, just dedicated turtle fans out there that would love that, just to even have that opportunity to be able to work with, one of the OG artists. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Maybe we can do that. We'll plan for that next year. I know this year we're already basically full of projects and wrapped up already, so yeah, maybe next year we can do that, or we could plan for something like that and start out the year with the big bang. Maybe we'll do something like that for New Year's and just get people's year started
spark back.
That's awesome. So we had talked about this a little bit too, but speaking of giving back, we here at Epic Tales from the Sewers, we're looking at giving back to our listeners too. We were going to work on a giveaway, and we were going to do something with we're kind of we have just something, and I'm talking about that with my my network here, the Dorkening. And for this episode, I'm going to have probably something along the lines of a code word, and that code word is going to be put into the episode, and I'm going to put it in separately so that way I can take it out after someone's won. But it's going to be a circumstance where we're going to have somebody say, okay, this is the code word, and they'll email in, and based on that, they'll get a chance to win a variant issue of The Last Ronin. And I personally have 2 set aside for this. So hopefully anyone who's listening who has enjoyed all this episode can maybe also find out what that code word is by listening, and go in and get something out of the giveaway from here.
Yeah, one of the giveaways that I would even like to do for your channel or your podcast, Last Ronin 5, we're gonna be giving away the free issue that you can't purchase. I don't know. Then? So what? When I came up with this plan, I said, and I had to think about it, because I said I want to give one away, but I want to give it away to my real loyal customers. Because anyone could give something away and everyone will go and get it. Like, if you give a burger away at McDonald's, everyone's gonna line up to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest goal was, how am I going to give this away and, make sure my loyal customers get it? I started doing a lot of digging into my files and into my purchase histories for, the past 3 years. And I had a lot of people that would purchase over 15 items already. I said, it makes it fair. I mean, you're really supporting me, and my projects, if you have already bought over 15 items, and we've been in business for about 3 years already. So I said, okay, so it's not like I'm pressuring people. 3 years, that's how many months? That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I said 15 items. If you even buy once a month, you had to do that within those 3 years easily. And I have a lot of people that did that, which I did. I think I had about 73 people. And to me, it's never been about the numbers or the followers. I've always said having, again, 70 something or 50 or 100 people that are just loyal or really like your stuff, that's what really counts. I said, so I'm going to go off 15 items. Whoever purchased 15 items from my website from, anytime, you'll get it for free. And I'm not going to put it up for sale. So you cannot purchase this variant on my website ever. I will never, no one will probably, I mean, if you ever see it on someone's Facebook or anything, it's that person who got it for free flipping it or doing whatever they want to do, which again, they're entitled to do what they want with their item. But I'm not going to ever sell it. So it's going to be strictly free. And if no one has ever purchased 15 items on my website, I mean, you don't have to. You can go down the road, but it's then again, it's while supplies last.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you one thing: I wouldn't be flipping it; I'd be keeping it.
Yeah, I won't be selling it. I won't be selling it. So, I kept my word. I did this already. I think last year. So I did this last year when it was last year. No, you know what? It was It was last year because Power Morphicon was online. Now that I think of it, for the pandemic. So when the Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 4 or the crossover happened, I did a version that if you bought all my Scott Wade variants, you got it for free. And I was never, you never purchased it on my website. And I kept it like that. Up to today, you were never able to purchase it. So it's been over a year and I stood strong with that,
Wow.
So, so I never sold it. It's never been on my website. I never had it on my eBay page. So people, I kept my word to it and I gave it away. And people were really, excited about that. So I'm excited to do this again. And with the Ninja Turtle cover, basically, again, that was probably big for me. I didn't think that was going to happen again anytime soon.
Well, I mean, that's awesome that you're giving back to the turtle community. I mean, it's, to me, it means a lot. I mean, it's really nice. You don't hear, I'm not going to lie, you're not going to hear any of your other competition saying, hey, you bought this many stuff from my comic store that, hey, we're going to hook you up with one of these free Ronins. You don't hear that. You don't hear that often. And that's the thing about you, Jolzar, is that you're very, you're not just a businessman, but you're also a fan. And
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not, like I said, you're not just a businessman, you're one of us. So, I mean, you're into it as much as we are,
He is clearly more into it than we are, which is
I mean, yeah, he's into it a little more deeper than we are.
Yeah.
I mean, with the artists and stuff, but it's more like, I mean, the way that me and Justin feel about the Ronin, you're just as, into it as we are. But you're also want to do something for the Ronin fans. I mean, that's a huge thing. And, hats off to you on that, man.
Thank you.
I've always had respect for you, but it builds more and more, I mean, the stuff that you do for your customers, I should say. Yeah. And I'm thinking food wise. I'm thinking guests. The food business. So
well, he said you could do what you want with it, so you could eat the comic. So
I mean, if you're hungry enough, I mean, do whatever you got to do. No,
this podcast is not
cheese and pepperoni.
Yeah, we do not advocate doing it. But before we get going and all that, I gotta ask, because I ask everybody this. Jolzar, what's your favorite topping on pizza? What's your best pizza? Like, if you get to order, what do you pick?
So you know what? This is gonna sound interesting, but there's I don't know if it's a corporation all over the U.S., but I don't know if anyone has heard of John's Incredible Pizza.
No,
but at John's Incredible Pizza, they serve a peanut butter pizza. That's amazing.
Really?
It's amazing. It's called spicy peanut butter pizza. Okay. It's amazing. When it's usually when I go there, that's all I eat. It's a buffet. It's like a pizza buffet, and then like a little arcade. Usually out of the 20 pizzas you can pick from, or maybe about 15, I'm exaggerating, but still over the 15, I only get spicy peanut butter, and it's amazing. So I'm gonna go with spicy peanut butter.
You have surprised me several times today. So
I'm going to try to find an image and maybe send it to you guys, just because.
Are you sure you're not actually a Ninja Turtle?
Yeah. Flies, stink bugs.
Yeah.
Right. And it trips everybody out. I just had a family that came out from out of state, and when I was like, man, it's peanut butter pizza my favorite, everyone always looks at me funky and like, wait, what?
I would totally eat that.
It's so good. It's so good.
You said that has John's Amazing is what it's called?
John's Incredible Pizza.
Incredible. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Maybe that'll be the recipe I throw in the issue or in the episode here.
You know what?
Add bacon.
Do that. You know what? Do that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to look up a recipe now to myself. Do that because it's uncommon, and we'll call that Jolzar's Spicy Pizza.
Nice.
Spicy peanut butter pizza.
All right. Spicy peanut butter pizza. All right.
Yeah, cool. Spicy peanut butter pizza.
I can't wait to tell Julian
gotta add
about
bacon.
This.
You gotta add bacon. Sorry. I'm a bacon fanatic. I love bacon. Bacon good makes everything better.
You know what?
Bacon's good.
It might even do something, believe it or not, because I've tasted it. It might spark something different into it. Yeah, why not? I wouldn't mind. I love to taste random new things all the time. Every time I see something so random, I will taste it, even if it did, if it throws you off, like that spicy peanut butter pizza. So yeah,
that's very That's very Michelangelo of you. So you're kind of
throw some spice. Yes, throw some bacon on
there. With that, I want to thank you again for being an amazing guest. I may have to have you come back just to talk about the Power Rangers and the Turtles crossover. So hopefully we can get you back for another episode, if that would be all right.
So, of course, I would love to be back on your show. We didn't even talk about Power Ninja Tunes.
We didn't even.
Fine.
We didn't even get to.
We got a lot to talk about. Yeah.
But we are running a bit long, so I just want to make sure everybody you can check out. It is Jolzar Collectables.com.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And as you heard it here, he's the man with the most Ronin covers. So it's with the names that we just dropped in this episode, if that doesn't make you want to get out there and go to there, and then on top of that, to order 15 things in the past 3 years from it to get this cover that you cannot buy, I don't know what to tell you. So
we can maybe reserve one for you, maybe.
Well, you also got to think too. He also got those Power Tunes. You order one of those Power Tunes, you get early access as well. So,
good point.
That's something for somebody else to look out for too.
Yes, I'm gonna make even an announcement on that. But yeah, if you ordered Power Ninja Tunes, you're gonna get first access to issue 5. And there's a little bonus included on there. I'm probably not just going to say it because some people are going to say, nah, I'm not going to buy it. And then when you didn't buy it, you're going to be like, dang, I should have bought it. But there's a little bonus involved in there. So if you haven't bought Power Ninja Tunes, buy it. It's in my link on Instagram. I think it's like bigcartel.jolzar entertainment. Not that hard to find, right, Eric? Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you Google it, even it'll show up.
We'll post a link to it when.
I can post a link on Epic Shells. I can post a link on a couple of the other Last Ronin sites if need be. It's not a problem. Once you post something there, and I can just take the link and run with it for you, and you put it on yours, and I'll take care of the rest. So.
Awesome.
That's so cool, and so Eric will take care of that. We'll post links to everything. I want to thank you for being just an amazing guest. We've had so much fun talking about stuff, and it's just like the energy and all that. It's been high this whole time, and I'm just buzzing. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for doing this, Justin. This is fun, different, cool, and you're doing this for a lot of people. I'm so glad to be a part of this show.
Worldwide.
Now I'm actually going to be listening worldwide. We're going to be listening to this, so I can't wait. And I hope to be here soon. And you guys all take care. You guys all stay safe. Wear a mask. Yep. And yeah.
Even if it's a turtle mask, I
said even if it's a turtle mask.
That's all I got.
Even if it's a turtle mask, just make sure everybody's safe out there. Let's finish this pandemic.
I'm done. Yeah.
Eric, did you want to say for anybody who could find you on social media or anything like that, like where they can look for you?
Yeah, if you guys, I'm on Facebook. That's about all I'm on. You guys can look for me on Eric Will. I'm on Epic Shells as our group, as everybody would know. If you have any problems, just feel free to tag me or, tag me, say, well, you can get a hold of me, and, we'll try to figure out stuff from there. Like, I'm here to help anybody out. I help about 20 to 30 people a day, just about, it seems like it. So, that's the only way you guys can really get hold of me, unless I put my phone number on here.
No, yeah, don't. And Epic Shells is a Facebook community where we welcome in all types of people who are fans of Ninja Turtles. So whoever you are, and the most radical member each month gets a prize from me. So how cool is that? So, and the cool thing about it too, we have some of the creators who are in the group. So, you may actually get to interact with some of your favorite people. So, just don't bug them or Eric will get on your ass. So,
this guy, I'll put the band hammer down.
Yeah. And with that, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna end this section, and we'll get on to Jolzar's amazing spicy pizza, peanut butter pizza.
Yes.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pizza Time. Big thank you to our guest, Mr. Jolzar. So, in honor of Jolzar, I'm going to give you Jolzar's incredible peanut butter pizza. Now, he had mentioned how that is based on John's Incredible Pizza Company, and I could not find the exact recipe, so I'm going to give you something as close as possible, but not exact. So this is going to be a spicy peanut butter and pepperoni pizza. So let's start off with our ingredients. For the pizza, it's going to be 1 tablespoon of olive oil or a neutral oil, 1 pound refrigerated pizza dough at room temperature, 1/3 cup of creamy peanut butter. You heard me right. 1/2 cup of marinara sauce, 2 cups shredded whole milk mozzarella, 1 cup mini pepperoni slices or regular pepperoni slices. That's up to you. 1 large jalapeno, seeded and thinly sliced, about 1/3 cup. Okay, so what you're going to do, the directions for the pizza: preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Grease a 12-inch cast iron skillet with the oil. Place the pizza dough in the center and spread out evenly to cover the bottom up to 1 inch up the sides. Spread the peanut butter evenly over the dough, followed by the marinara sauce. Sprinkle with mozzarella, followed by the pepperoni, and then the jalapeno. Bake until the cheese melts and browns and the edges are crisp, about 20 minutes. This is a good time to start if you're going to do any side dishes, anything along those lines. Remove from the oven and let sit for 5 minutes. Then drizzle with, if you want, you can put hot honey on top of it. So hot honey being, say, like a sriracha added to honey. So that's the ingredients for, we're going to call it Jolzar's Incredible Peanut Butter Pizza. Cowabunga, dudes! The secret word for the giveaway is Bossa Nova. Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, IDW Studios, Nickelodeon Studios, Archie Comics, or any other Turtles properties. This podcast is a member of the Epic Sewers podcast network. Be sure to check out our other great shows, some turtle-related, some not. Thanks for listening. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey there, this is JB, and if you enjoyed Tales from the Crypt, then check out my show, Tales from the Podcast, where myself, and usually a very special guest, sit down to discuss the TV show, the films, the animated series, as well as the original comics. So check me out every other week on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and of course at talesfromthepodcast.com.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.